Hi, I'm Cassandra Murray of Cassandra's Champions, and welcome to the LMS show. Here's your host, Lenny Matthews.
Hey! Cassandra Champions, we got a show that can't be beat. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta read it in. Chuck Fowler and Miss Turner coming up right here on the LMS show, and take it down. And welcome to the LMS show. Give us all a big hand. Now, this is the place you want to be, up at Sisters. My mom is so proud of them at the Sisters Bookstore and Cultural Center. Give Sisters Uptown Bookstore and Cultural Center a big hand. And a few, we got an honor for you. We have Chuck Fowler is going to be coming up, and a young lady who I had the honor to meet at Lenny Green's Family Day. Y'all should be on the Lenny Green's Family Day. I went to plug Lenny Green on the air, but it's good. Sometimes networking is so important, people. Sometimes you go to places that you never could tell who you might meet. So I don't want to go there, you know. But I had a nice time. I met a young lady. This story blew my mind. That's going to blow your mind too somewhat in a few minutes. But before Miss Turner comes on, we're going to talk to Chuck Fowler and take it down. And welcome back to the LMS show. Give us a big hand. Hey! We got the full figure ladies in the house. We got everybody in the house. Oh my goodness. We got TC Spelling. Talk about the waiting room, baby. Waiting room. Wait for that right guy. Y'all runs with these computers and stuff like that. Then you gonna hope to get a man. She got the way how you can really get a man. Right here on the LMS show. Well, without no further ado, this young gentleman. Oh, I had such a good time at the club. What's the name of that club?
For My Sweets.
For My Sweets. We ain't advertising them now. There's no public access. We ain't advertising them. But he plays there. And I had such a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Chuck Fowler, everybody. Chuck Fowler. I don't want to sound like an old broken record. Where did we met at the memorial for Speedo Earl Cadillac, right?
That's right. That's right, at Abyssinia Church.
Yes, yeah. My name is Mr. Earl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was noticing when I went down there. Oh, you have very talented people. They're very talented folks down there.
Absolutely.
The lady who sang "Feel Like Making Love," oh, she was awesome.
We have a lot of talent here in our community, not only in music, and in so many different areas. The thing is, how do we maximize that? How do we make a contribution that enhances our consciousness to the degree that we take action, whatever it may be? That's the opportunity that we have.
We have so many talented people. You know, just like I was looking at, even with books, you know, yes, a lot of people write a lot of books too, but everybody don't hit the New York Times list.
It's not about that.
What's it about?
It's about magnetizing the results of our gifts, our natural gifts. Everyone has a special talent, whatever it is. And especially in our community. One of the things that went wrong was that we're depending on other people and other avenues to make, quote, success for us.
Quote success. What do you mean by quote success?
Success means different things. Like all words means different things to different people. we measure ourselves in terms of success for material gains. And that's counterproductive to who we are as human beings, and especially for the unique human beings that we are. Let me just put it that way. So what is valuable to some people is not valuable necessarily to us and to our community. And the day that we recognize that and then work toward building and extending our own is the time that we take more control of our lives and have a more positive impact, such that even our young people can really see it. It's not just about a title. They say respect needs to be earned. So it's the actions that we take that make the difference.
Success could mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Somebody may be happy to have a room apartment, right?
Yes.
Some people be happy to have but I think the media, oh please, they blow this stuff up so much. You got to have this, you got to have, $1 million house and all. Not necessarily so.
Not necessarily so. And here again, you're still left with the question, well, what is it that brings satisfactions to you? How, at the end of the day, can you look at yourself and say, I like you. I did something today. What are we doing to create the world that we would prefer to have? Music is one of the things that I do. It's contained in that message to uplift us.
But in most cases, the people that look like, I went down there to the club. Looked like everybody was enjoying it. No one was looking for a hit record. They were just enjoying themselves.
Well, believe it or not, I think that's characteristic of our culture. That's our inheritance. We danced and we sang for days. People came in limping, some of our elders, after the music went for a while, and they started moving. And yes, their pains went away. So it was about the quality of life. It was the relationship. We came up and we had elders. And we looked out for those elders. There was no, I'm sending you to a home. No, this is home. This is here. You took care of us, and now we're going to take care of you. So the question is, where? How is that present now? Are we always going to just look at the media and say, media, it's easy to point your fingers. There's external effects on our lives, and there's internal. And they say it takes a village to raise a child. And I respectfully ask, where is the village? It's about right here. It's about right now.
Can we start small as
this is small. Can't get any smaller.
As a mustard seed, right?
Hey, did you say mustard seed?
Yes.
You know how big a mustard seed is? And yet and still out of that comes. And see, we've lost that connection. That's why the kids have given up, in many respects. They don't see any hope. So why should I? For what? So we, I believe, are in a very, believe it or not, wonderful time. A very special, special time. We're in a time where what is wrong is so blatant. Right? Every day we look and say, oh man, not again.
It's just like also too, like I was looking in the paper, and they have all this, the planes going down, and these killings. Said, oh my, I don't use it, oh my God, oh again. I have to turn to the next page. It's really getting out of hand.
Yeah, so the question is, can you ask yourself, what have you done today that lends itself toward a better reality? If we can feel good inside, we can ask, and not be selfish, by the way, So what have you done to make someone else feel good?
That's important though too. That's important. Make someone happy today.
Underneath
And unselfishly too. Not not to say, well, I'm gonna get paid or something like that. So unselfishly.
Underneath all of the, I believe, underneath all of the atrocities that we get news of every day, are the results of people who do not have peace in themselves.
That's true. Is that true, everybody?
If you can't, you started, and later on it's going to talk about a relationship. How can someone have a good relationship with anyone if they don't have a good relationship with themselves?
It starts with self, right?
So whether you're male or female, it makes no difference. So you lay on someone else the problems that you've not resolved for yourself.
I would like to thank you so much for coming on today on the LMS show. And I always tell you many times, you're always welcome back. You don't have to pick the lock. You're always welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Fowler. And we'll be right back.
Just before I go, just want to say thank you so much for hanging in and always having people. This has not been a fly-by-night thing, and here again you're inspiring, just as it is to be here at Sisters, where this is the one existing black bookstore here in the city. You get the message? Thank you. Thank you.
We got to support our. I remember the Black Empowerment Club last night. They were talking about that, and the gentleman who runs the club, he always mentions. He says support. That's the whole thing. We don't support black institutions. And look at when integration came, we got happy. We ran downtown. They want you the first time. Now they want you to open arms. They really don't want you, but it's like at Christmas time and any other time they see a bottom line. Oh, and thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Welcome back to the LMS show. My name is Lenny Matthews. This book is a book that talks about self-esteem and why it was written. Loving him and losing me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like for you to give a big hand. It took a whole lot for this sister to write this book after the murder of her son. Cynthia Turner, give her a big hand. Miss Turner, how you doing?
Hi, good evening, Mr. Matthew. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'd like to, how did we meet?
We met at the Lenny Green Family Picnic Day in Brooklyn, Tompkins Park.
And I ran after, I saw you had this book, I was running after you. I said, look, you got to take advantage of opportunity, folks, okay? You can't sit back here and say, oh, well, let it go away. Why did you write this book?
I wrote that book to save my life.
In what way?
Well, July 31st, 2011, my youngest son was murdered. And I was in a very dark place. I know I had a relationship with God, but it went to another level.
At what level?
It went to a level of, it was just me and him. It was just me and God. My family couldn't help me. My associates couldn't help me. My friends couldn't help me. And I knew that I needed God to do something for me. And I was shut in my house for 6 months. And
6 months?
6 months.
This is not mentioned in the book, right?
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
No.
But if you look at the date, you'll see from the time my son was murdered to the time it was published, which was a 6-month period. And I didn't know it was going to be a book until it was actually finished.
You just writing notes and everything like that?
I was just writing day to day and reminiscing back on what I've been through, and I was identifying with my son's murder because it could have been me. Because my son was murdered by someone he thought he could trust. They were living in his household. They was eating at the same table. And he ended up being murdered. So when
Who murdered him?
His girlfriend's brother.
His girlfriend's brother.
Correct.
But going back, and I was reading this book, going back, you had a lot of incidents in your life. I remember one incident, I practically laughed off it a little bit. You were going out with this gentleman, right? And I think you were married to him or something like that, and he was living in Georgia or something like that.
Absolutely.
And now listen, folks, she did not use no GPS. She found where that man was at. Tell us how you found that man.
This was my second husband. The first husband I had, we had a good relationship. It just ended, we just went our separate ways. And
Okay.
I was young, and I just wanted to be married, so we got married. Yeah, we were in love, but we didn't have any idea what love was really about.
Yeah.
He was incarcerated for a murder, and at the time, we just went our separate ways. I had 2 young children, and that ended. The second marriage is the one Mr. Matthews is talking about. We were in a relationship for 14 years, married for 8, and he had a strange daughter.
Well, how strange was she?
They hadn't had a relationship in over 13 years. So when we got married, all of a sudden she comes back into his life. And at this time, she's a grown woman. She's 19. She's 18 or 19.
She all grown up.
She's all grown up. She's actually a woman. And when I didn't even realize she was actually in New York until like maybe a week she was here. And then he brought to my attention that she was here, and he was all enthusiastic and happy. And I'm wondering, but how are you so happy when you even know this young lady? Like 12 years is a long time.
That's true, because you don't know a person that long.
Exactly.
The time.
So I went to work one day, and I came home, and all his things were gone. Yes, I walked into my apartment, and you know how you can just have a feeling of something is just not right? So when I walked in the door, I just felt something wasn't right, but I just didn't know quite what. It was burning up. It was the middle of August. It was hot as, I don't know, it was probably almost 100 degrees. So when I go into my bedroom, I seen all the drawers taken out, the closets were open, and the air conditioner was going out the window. That's how I really realized that.
Oh, you really felt it then. He took the air conditioner too?
He took the air conditioner out the window.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord.
And this was in August. So December, I decided to give myself an early birthday present. I was going to go to Georgia to find him. And I hadn't spoken to him since he had left. I didn't even know he had left. His mother told me, she said, you didn't know him and so-and-so went to Georgia. I said, Georgia? So I made it my business to find my husband. I went on blind faith. I had no direction. I had no address, no phone number, no phone call, no letter. So I just went on blind faith. I said, I'm going to Georgia and I'm going to find my husband.
No GPS.
No GPS. I didn't have a GPS.
Wow.
I was pretty much really a new driver. And I went on Newports and Pepsi and gas. I drove 21 and a half hours. And when I got off this road at Georgia, I ran into a town called Osceola.
Yeah.
And when I got off the highway, I must have went about maybe a half a mile, and I saw the car that I had gave him because I had brought a brand new car.
Brand new car.
I had brought a brand new car, and I gave him the old one. He's my husband, all right? You can have this one, So I went to Georgia, 21 and a half hour drive. I just stopped for gas. I smoked about, I don't know, maybe 3 packs of cigarettes and Pepsi, to give me energy. And I drove nonstop. And I got off this highway and I saw the car. It was a white Saturn, and I remember my license plate. And I said, God, thank you. I found this man, right? So I went into the house and I knocked on this window, and it was a little white, crack-looking house, So when I knocked on the door, my husband came to the door, and he was like, his eyes almost popped out of his head, and so did mine, because I had no idea where I was going. I don't even know how I got there, but God.
That must be God.
You know, and absolutely, you're 100% right. And people say God is mysterious, and I was telling my friend on our way here today, God is not mysterious. His ways and his thoughts are higher than ours. You know, and he is not mysterious by a long shot. And I was brought up believing that. You know, God is working mysterious ways. But what happens when people survive 4-stage cancer and fall off of buildings, and that's God. I found this man 21 hours away, no destination. So God had directed me.
But also too, we're not gonna give the cat out the bag. We want everybody to read the book. Okay. One of the men that the gentleman who you dealt with, he was kind of, when your son was murdered, he looked like he had no sympathy for you at all. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Wow, that was heartache and heartbreak at the same time.
But you like you say, you were loving him, but you were losing yourself in the process.
Correct.
Were you really in love with this man?
Yes, I was.
In what way?
He started using drugs. We were together for 4 years. He started using drugs. He lost his job. He owed drug dealers money. I would pay them off. I would sell jewelry. I would go get him out of crack houses. I took him to treatment centers.
Did it help?
For a little while.
You have these celebrities. They go to the rehab, and next 30 they said I'm going to. Well, I'm not going to mention. They had a couple of these athletes. I'm going to mention names on the air.
Correct.
Well, let's see what happens to this athlete when he comes out. Is he going to go back and do the same old habit?
Correct.
But you were trying to save this man, though, right?
Yeah, I was actually trying to save him. Yes, and I wanted what was best for him, because I saw something in him that he didn't see in himself. But at the same time, I was grieving my son just before this happened. My son got murdered. This happened, and then I was grieving my son, and he decided he wanted to leave. Like, it was a month after I buried my son.
Yeah. You mean he didn't help you and sympathize with you at all? Huh?
No,
there was no sympathy.
None. He didn't.
But everything for him, right?
Correct.
What does this do to your self-esteem? Because did you learn many times? Learn from this experience. What did you learn from this experience?
Well, each experience I learned something different, especially being married to a man who was, I thought he was a quarter, but he was actually a dime. And I gave him wife privileges even before I married them. And what I've learned was that I can't love anyone more than I love myself.
Is that true, everybody?
Yes.
They say it out loud.
Yes.
Okay, I can't hear you say it out loud.
Yes.
That was one thing I learned. The other thing I learned is that I am not in control of anybody's destiny. God is.
All right now.
That's number
All right
two.
now.
Number three, I have to learn to be patient with me, because my self-esteem went so low. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was skinny. I thought I wasn't good enough. All these things were combined as a woman, because the men that I was loving weren't loving me or themselves.
Well, in meeting you, you seem to be a nice person.
I am pretty much.
But sometimes, but people consider me as a nice person. Sometimes too, they see the other side of me.
Exactly. And speaking on the other side, Mr. Matthews, actually, this will be the third year since he left.
Yeah.
And last month he came back telling me that the woman that he was with had pulled out a sword on him, and he had to actually literally call the police to get his things, and he needed a place to stay. And
I know you didn't let him stay in your place.
Yes, I did. I let him stay for a week. I gave him an ultimatum. Because, see, I believe in karma. And just because you're selfish, that don't mean I have to be selfish.
True.
Because I noticed you can block your blessings. Because you did me, so I'm going to do you too. God says, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So I gave him a week. Because if it was me, I would have wanted you to let me sleep somewhere. And if something would have happened to him, I would have felt bad. I honestly would have.
Well, you gave him a week, right?
That's it. And then
Because
when the week came,
if he stays 30 days, that's squatters' rights.
exactly. That's right. You're absolutely right.
And you really can't get rid of them.
That's right. You're right, and I knew that, and he knew that. So I gave him a week. I said, your next paycheck, you have to go. And the week came, Mr. Matthews, and then he wanted another week. I'm like, no.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, of course. You know, people take people kindness for weakness.
Yeah,
most of the time.
there's a shelter down the block.
Exactly. Exactly.
They be kicking the mayor about. Oh,
So,
on that note,
I was gonna pay.
you all right?
I'm blessed. I still have some feelings, some issues, some experiences that I need to share with the world that will be explored soon. This is just the beginning.
We going to we like for you to come back at a later date.
Absolutely.
And you have a second book, right?
I do.
Okay.
I'm in the process of my third book.
Give her a big hand. Now this is a good promotion. I mean, this is to really promote. Miss Robinson, you're not exactly slow neither. TC, you ain't exactly slow neither now. I'm ordering a book, baby. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matthews. I'd like to thank Sister Bookstore for having me. It was truly an honor and a blessing, and continue to do the work. Continue to support each other. What you're doing is blessed.
And we may take a break. Let's see what happens. My producer. We'll be right back. Take it back.